Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Conciliar Radio. I am your host, TLM Ryan. Today, we are going to be talking about, in under 10 minutes, the Second Vatican Council. Why do I want to talk about this? It's been over-talked about, in my opinion. So why would I do this? Well, it's because a very good friend of mine, who is Catholic, reached out to another one of her Catholic friends and shared with me a message that her friend sent her. I'm going to read it. I have the friend's permission to do so. It's anonymous, and it's very insightful. It's very, in my opinion, it was very impactful and showed why this question of the council still matters. And then I'm going to go into answering some of her questions. So here is the text. It said, "I want to meet Ryan. I have so many questions. So when I started my journey, I feel like I was starting pretty fresh. And starting back up with reading the Bible gave a whole different perspective of, well, everything. I can't say I knew/know much about the Pope and the deep structure of the Catholic faith. I never wanted to until now. In the past couple of months, one thing led to another, and it led me to the Second Vatican Council. I actually had a conversation with AI to get answers. LOL. And I felt like a huge veil was lifted. I always thought something was off about the church and the Catholic religion as a whole. And briefly reading the changes, it hit me instantly. I've been wanting to go to Latin Mass ever since. I started veiling at church. I have this huge pull to figure out everything that was removed." So I loved hearing this. I always love it when Catholics, cradle Catholics, typically Catholics in the midst of a reversion, start asking really critical questions and start really wanting to know the truth that was hidden from them, because that's what happened. But boy, that's a big can of worms. I want to talk about Vatican II. There's so much to talk about, and there's so much to say. People make 10-hour documentaries on it. Where to go? So I figured that I would make a video for this individual, who will remain nameless, as well as for anybody else, a very quick 10-minute summary of everything that the Second Vatican Council did in terms of changes. Okay, so I'm going to go in chronological order. The council began in the early 1960s, and it ended in 1969. Okay. It created, in 1968, a new rite of priestly ordination. In 1969, this is when most things would have started impacting the laity. In 1969, a new Mass. This was probably the biggest one. This is the one that most people interact with the Catholic Church in, is during Mass. In 1969, there was a new Mass. In 1969 as well, there was a new rite of baptism. In 1969 as well, there was a new rite of marriage. These are sacraments, okay, the most important part of the faith. There was also a new liturgical calendar in 1969, okay, because with a new Mass comes new feast days, so you need a new calendar. In 1970, a new breviary. That's what monks pray. They changed the prayers that monks pray. Okay, in 1971, another sacrament was changed. New rite of confirmation. Okay, in 1972, another sacrament was changed, which was the sacrament of extreme unction. In 1973, confession was changed. new rite of penance. New holy oils was in 1970. I think I skipped over that. In 1983, a new code of canon law was promulgated. Used to be the code of canon law was 1917. Now we have the canon law of 1983. In 1991, a new way of the cross. In 1992, a brand new catechism. In 1998, a new rite of exorcism. All the exorcists agree and report that it is weaker. It takes them much, much longer to deliver a person now. In 2001, new martyrology, and in 2002, a new mystery to the rosary. New, change. All of the sacraments that they changed, similar to the rite of exorcism, most people agree has made it weaker. The prayers at absolution during confession are weaker. They are less robust. Okay? So, I will share with you that image of all of these changes so that you can get a visual of it. Add this. Okay. The timeline's a little off, but roughly speaking, it goes from the late 60s, early 70s, all the way to 2000. Okay. Those are the main ones. Let's share something else. This is a very good site. Okay. This is the comprehensive list of changes. Okay. Just look here. Changed rosary, changed breviary. Okay. So those are some of the main ones, but these are all the changes. Look at the volume of these changes. Look how much. And it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. Oh, my favorite, female altar servers. Where would we be without them? It just keeps going. Continued on next page. I won't bore you with it. If you want to look at it, it's called mycatholicsource.com. I just Googled changes at Vatican II. That should get you enough. Okay. So Vatican II was all about changing everything. And it wasn't about changing things that had only been around for about 200 years. It was changing things that had been around since the apostles. Okay. The Mass, for example. St. John Henry Newman, now a doctor of the church, he converted from Anglicanism to the Catholic faith because he set out on a mission to disprove the Catholic Mass and to prove it to be a medieval invention. At the end of his research, he concluded that it dated back, most of it, to the apostles, and therefore he decided he had to convert. But after the Second Vatican Council, we changed that. And like I said, everything has gotten worse. Everything is weaker as a result. I'll give you two examples. Example number one, they actually watered down, they weakened the blessings said over holy water. They actually watered down holy water. Example number two, when they changed the Mass. It used to be that 75% of your children would retain the faith when they attended the Latin Mass. Today, at best, it is a 25 to 30% retention rate if your children attend the new Mass. Okay? Everything got weaker, everything changed. That's the Second Vatican Council. I'll share one more thing on this, because besides the changes, a lot of people then ask, well, how could that have been? What happened? Etc. There's so many different videos on that. There's so many different theories. In essence, not everybody knows. It's very mysterious, it's rather dark, and it's rather disturbing. I believe that it was a spiritual attack on the church. So we can't get into that in this video. What I would say is there is one video to watch, which I believe it's not a religious movie, it's a secular movie. And I think it really encapsulates the way people feel when they realized that the church as it is today wasn't at all what it was like for the majority of the church's history. this video here, not video, this movie, perfectly and artistically shows what a person like my friend feels like when they realize this. It's an excellent movie, even if you're, a traditional Catholic and you already know all these things. Watch this movie. It's just enjoyable. It's mysterious. It's dark. But the twist that comes, I think, really encapsulates how a person feels when they realize they've been lied to their entire life about the church. So, anyways, my intro notwithstanding, we got this in under 10 minutes. So, thank you for tuning in. Until my next broadcast, Godspeed.